Teen substance abuse is America's #1 public health problem. It's strange, though, that we don't really talk about it. We talk about test scores, what looks good on a college app, or how the team looks this year. We put more emphasis and concern on temporary problems and fads than we do on substance abuse. For example, throughout the years, there has been more worldwide coverage on the Ebola breakout and the Kylie Jenner lip challenge than there has been on teen drinking.
I hear a lot of coaches say they're concerned about our students and the pressures they face with alcohol and drugs.
So I think I signed a contract saying that I wouldn't drink during season, but I'm not entirely sure.
Parents use the logic, if you say no, the kids will want to do it more.
Research is pretty clear. Parents who have strict rules about drugs and alcohol, their kids use later in life and use less.
90% of all adults who are chemically dependent started drinking in high school. If we get more students to delay their use of mood-altering chemicals until they're adults, our nation would dramatically change.
I hear parents say all the time, thank God we live in Saline, because our kids are at a lower risk for substance abuse.
We're actually at a higher risk than other communities. Our parents work long hours, have a lot of money, we're close to 2 major universities. It's almost too easy.
Let's do some simple math. Experts agree that at least 46% of high school students currently use mood-altering chemicals. 1 in 3 of them meet the criteria for addiction. We have roughly 1,800 students in this school, so that means that close to 300 students are already addicted. That's a whole lot of kids and a whole lot of families that are experiencing pain.
You know, a lot of parents believe that if their kids go to a party, having fun and have a few beers, it's no big deal. It's a social event.
I mean, there's no such thing as social use for us. It's always going to involve some sort of risk.
As a society, we do talk about violence, but it seems like we ignore talking about the common denominators in violence. We know that over 95% of all violent crimes that take place on college campuses are drug and alcohol related. A lot of people have done things under the influence of a mood-altering chemical that they wouldn't have done if they were sober.
So I think a lot of our parents rationalize the use of marijuana is that they did it and they turned out fine. At least that's what I've heard from some.
Actually, the marijuana used today is 200% more potent than it was 20 years ago. It's a completely different drug.
I think a lot of parents hear a lot of the pro-marijuana and they think maybe it's true, maybe marijuana is safer than alcohol.
A drug is a drug. How about we just don't use?
All we seem to hear these days is how safe marijuana is. But if it's so safe, how is it that more teens are admitted into treatment with a primary diagnosis of marijuana dependence than all other drugs combined? It kind of seems like we're making the same exact mistakes that we did decades ago with tobacco.
I hear some parents rationalize it by saying, look at the Europeans. Their kids used it at an early age and they suppose they don't have any problems.
Actually, according to the World Health Organization
And the public health department.
they have a lot more alcohol problems than we do.
I think a lot of parents think that kids are kids. We had the same issues.
Parents have no idea what we face. The material we're being taught in high school is what they were taught in college. And the athletic training is the same as what a college athlete would have received back in their day.
So a lot of parents I know say that experimenting with drugs and alcohol is normal. Their kids do it, it's not a problem.
Not that any use is healthy, but I feel like using is every weekend, whereas experimentation is only a couple of times.
Over 5,000 underage drinkers die annually. 1,825 college students die every year because of their choice to use alcohol. That's 10 students a day, 10 sets of parents told that their son or daughter is never coming home.
You know, I hear parents talking and they're talking about their kids saying, you know, my daughter's got a 3.7 grade point average. She's the captain of the soccer team. She's a group leader at church. She's not going to drink.
I know a lot of kids who do well in school and they do well in their sports teams and they think I can drink on the weekends and it doesn't affect the way I play.
We have great programs. I'm just happy our athletes don't use as much as our non-athletes.
That used to be true, but I know in the last 5 years, athletes are using more than non-athletes.
So I hear parents around here, they don't condone, but then they don't know if it's okay or not. They think it's no big deal. If a student athlete just goes out and drinks 1 or 2 beers a night or on the weekends, whatever.
They're not going to have a beer or two. They're going to do as many shots as they can. They drink to get drunk.
Most parents, teachers, and coaches are pretty oblivious to the amount of alcohol consumed by kids. 90% of alcohol consumed by youth is consumed by binge drinking, which is 5 drinks or more at one time.
I think a lot of coaches assume that their athletes know the importance of being clean, and that's why they never talk about it.
Being on time. Not missing practice.
Getting big.
Getting faster.
Off-season workouts.
think a lot of parents think that students can't be successful in athletics if they're using drugs and alcohol.
I've heard parents say that the best athletes in their school were the biggest partiers.
I know some students that are just amazing athletes, but they could be even better if they were clean.
In fact, according to the American Athletic Association, a decade of research has revealed that students who choose not to use drugs and alcohol are 30% more likely to be successful than athletes who choose to use.
Imagine that. I'm 30% more likely to get a hit.
I'm 30% more likely to make this shot.
I'm 30% more likely to make this catch.
I'm 30% more likely to be able to do this.
And my risk of injury is reduced by 50%.
As a society, we like to think that teen substance abuse is easy to recognize. But unfortunately, that's not always the case.
Basically, what I would like to say is that all students are different. And what I'm seeing is that substance abuse can negatively impact a student academically, but oftentimes, surprisingly, that may not happen. Their academics, they still might be very successful academically. Some students may be very successful with sports and athletically, but somewhere down the line there's a breakdown when a student is abusing. And oftentimes I'm getting phone calls from parents, and the parents are calling, they're in crisis, they don't know what's happening, there's a breakdown in a family relationship and a social relationship, but they're not able to identify it or make the connection with substance abuse.
Simply put, we know that if a young person stays alcohol and drug free, their chance of being successful in all areas of their life dramatically increases. But this isn't just about the effects of substance abuse on our own lives. Choosing to use has a big impact on everyone around us, especially the next generation that looks up to us for guidance.
It is so important that you know that you are role models.
Young people watch not only what you do in your competitions, but what you do in your free time.
And believe me, they hear about it. They know.
You don't just represent yourself.
You represent your family, you represent your school,
and you represent our community.
Ask yourself this: would you want your son or daughter making the same decisions at your age?
Being an athlete is a great privilege. We have the opportunity to learn lifelong lessons, represent our families, school, and community, and create memories that will last a lifetime. But as athletes, we can suffer even more consequences from underage substance abuse than non-athletes. The research is clear. The question now is, what will you choose?
I'm honored to represent Salina Schools, and the video you just watched is one of the many reasons why. It's important that you understand this was a completely led student initiative. They've seen the impact of substance abuse in our community and were moved to action. Let's all agree the health of our students will always be our top priority.
We will change the culture.
We will be honest with our coaches.
We will be honest with our families.
We will be honest with